Well, it goes without saying, I'm really proud of our group. I thought, we battled all night long, had that last shot going in. I felt sick for our guys because, like I said, I thought we battled. And that's what we need to do, from here on out. Thought our front court played great. They're going against one of the best front courts in the country in terms of being on the offensive glass. Thought we executed what we had talked about, and that is we really wanted to clog the lane as best we could. We lost Miles Powell way too many times. Give him credit, he hit a bunch of big-time shots for a freshman. But, I thought the story of the game was obviously a freshman point guard. Got better as the game went on. 2 free throws at the end were huge. Should do wonders for his confidence. And then I thought our front court, specifically Rasheed and Sean, answered the challenge, which was a large one coming in. So, Trayvon was big time in terms of his performance. Did it on a bum ankle for about 34 of the 40 minutes. The shot at the end was fitting, because I thought he competed the entire game and, certainly he's had an incredible run. We need him to keep it going.
Did he hurt his ankle tonight when he came up hobbling, or is it a lingering issue?
No, you always get twisted ankles as a basketball player, but, he hadn't had any issues coming in. I just think when he shot the floater, he landed on somebody's foot.
What does it say about the team to have this resilience, coming off of losing Ed, coming in playing a tough team, a really good rebounding team, and coming away with a win?
Shows we got another game Saturday. This league's a monster, but I'm really proud of our team. I told them before the game there's not a lot of people that, think that, we can keep winning games and keep improving. And, on 2 days turnaround, we managed to figure out a backup point guard. We managed to put in some more sets, handle pressure, which, isn't easy to do, and not to mention focus on a really good Seton Hall team that runs 1,000 plays and, has a big-time front court. So I'm proud of our effort, but as I said in my statement when Ed went down, our goals aren't going to change. Our personnel will.
The team seemed like they had some communication issues. Who was the forward taking out the ball, or who was the point guard, but they still overcame that. Did you think it took half for them to kind of get situated to be where they need to be?
Well, that happened more when JP was at the one. And then, you're talking about 21 games where he's used to, when the ball goes in, running down the floor. So to, crack down on him for not having his head in the game, it's just reality. There's just no way that you can correct 21 games of habits. Not 21 games. He's played 3 years of running down the sideline when the ball goes in. It's tough. But our 4s and 5s got to be a little bit better. Rasheed, when he does play the 4, which he did at times tonight, he's got to remember to take the ball out of bounds. But again, I thought as the game wore on, we handled ourselves in the offensive end.
I know Miles Powell got hot there for a little bit, but what do you think he got out of the 2-3 zone early?
I just think it has less holes than our 1-3-1. Our 1-3-1, you have to be, so active. You got to cover so much ground that, it's hard. We're not playing, 11, 12 guys. And so, for us, we felt like it was a good change of pace, and, we'll see how much we utilize it as we move forward.
Is Tyreek hurt?
No.
How would you assess the 5 minutes he played?
Well, I just thought that, in the first half, he rebounded the ball. He made a couple errors on the defensive end, and he wasn't finishing. And then when Rasheed and Sean came in, I thought they were playing their tails off. And, again, I'm going to reward the guys that play the best. And so it has nothing to do with Tyreek so much as it has to do with the way Sean and Rasheed played. And I hope they know that.
So at the end of the game, there was a bit of a skirmish there, but it turned out to be more yapping than anything else. What was going on with Rasheed at that point when he kind of inserted himself in the situation?
I just saw the end result. I thought it was calmed down, and, it's 70 feet away from us. There's a bunch of guys in there, and shouldn't have gone in there. And so when I realized that, he wanted to add a little bit more, that's when I walked down the court and told him to cool it. And, he's a tough kid. And, you got two programs that are represented by guys that have a chip on their shoulder, aren't going to back down, that are competitive. But you can't lose a basketball game. You can't lose your head. You can't get technical fouls down the stretch. And, fortunately, his teammates were able to pull him away. But Rasheed's got to be smarter than that. He's a fifth-year senior. I mean, I don't know how he'd feel if they gave us two technicals and they made free throws down the stretch. And that's what you have to be thinking about when you're in those situations.